welcome back. This is going to be part 5 of the Space Firebird. Sorry for the noise. The heater's going for the spray booth. I'm heating up that cabinet again. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Getting that thing heated back up so it can cool for an hour, and then we're going to sand that down and get that painted. But while I'm waiting, I want to put the coin mechs back into the coin door, and then I want to take apart this control panel for Space Firebird, and we need to weld in these holes in the middle here and straighten this out. This is dented in a little bit, so we need to flatten that out. And we gotta take some fiberglass out so that we can reveal the other 2 holes that we need. So first thing I need to do is clean up these screws on the wire wheel, and I'm just going to do this off camera with my wire wheel, but I'm going to show you the difference here. You can see how they're kind of dirty looking. So let me wire wheel one and I'll show you what it looks like. So it's not a huge difference, but it gets all the little bit of, I guess, rust and corrosion off of it. Like this one looks a little rusty on the edges there compared to that. So that's all I'm doing, just cleaning it up so it looks a little better. So I'm gonna go do the other 6 of these, and then we're gonna stick those coin mechs in. I know that one of these pieces was hanging down because I believe it's missing a screw or something, so we got to figure that out as well. Now, how these screws work, these are a security screw, okay? If you notice, they have like a ramp up on them. So you can use a flathead screwdriver in the tightening position only. It will not let you loosen it. The way that they have these ramped is if you try to take this screwdriver and go in reverse, it rides up the ramp and it will not let you take it back out. So it only works tightening. So right turn only, no left turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the coin mechs in, and then we're going to figure out what we need to do to the piece that was dangling on the back side here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of speed this part through the video because it's going to take me a little bit to get these little tiny nuts and lock washers on. Okay, this one, was it right here? This one clip is broken. So I'm gonna glue it, which you shouldn't do, because if you need to take it apart to get a coin jam out, you won't be able to. But I'm not using it for coin operated, and I guess if it ever were to go down the road to somebody else and they were gonna coin operate it, they would just have to get a new one of these pieces. Because I don't have any more of those, and I want to put it back together at least. So what I'm using, this is plastic and emblem adhesive made by 3M. The part number is 08061. I use this for automotive, and it works really, really well for anything plastic related. And it sets up fairly quick. So just put a little bit on there, kind of melt the two back together. So I'm going to let that set for a minute, and then we can throw this together, and then we're going to move on to the control panel. All right, I gotta let the other part dry for a little bit. We're only missing one screw. I found one of the two screws. It was inside of the coin mechanism. So once that dries, I'll be able to put it on, and I just gotta find one more screw. It could live with one screw, but the problem is it could pivot back and forth. So I'd like to get that second screw in. Now, I have to save all these, and I have a bunch of used ones in the basement because I'm not buying more of these if I don't have to, because they're like $5 a piece. So I reuse these things because it gets expensive if you have to buy these leaf switch holders. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if they're $5 a piece, that's $30. Plus then you have to pay shipping and everything else. So every time I tear a game apart, I save all this stuff. And these, what are these nuts called? I forget what they're called. Oh, it'll come to me. What the hell? We are going to need a red button. I believe it's a red, blue, 2 black buttons, and I'm not sure. I believe. But if you just take a flathead screwdriver and put it in here, if you don't have a pair of pliers or a wrench with you, that's all you gotta do is just use a little flathead screwdriver, and that'll loosen it up. We still have this in here, this wire tie holder, which I actually have more of these that just stick on there if we need it. Now the fun part. Yeah, right. Taking off the overlay. Oh, maybe I'll get lucky today. Probably not. I always say that, and then I screw myself. Oh yeah, it's on there like a son of a bitch. All right. You can see the remnants of the Space Firebird underneath. Normally I use like a heat gun. Let's try a torch. Let's see if that does anything. I'll move my phone before I melt my $29 phone. Just gotta be careful because you don't want to overheat this and warp the metal. See the other hole. Oh, that stinks. Oh man, this thing's stuck like a son of a bitch. Rusty. Oh, look at that. I might be able to pop that fiberglass out. Maybe. This definitely heats up faster than a heat gun. I'll have to grind this off. Just curious if it'll burn off. Yep. Got it. That's hot. All right, I'm going to continue to go on and get this off. And then more grinding. Yay! All right, that went pretty quick, about 15 minutes. So I got 2 control panels stripped down with the glue off and everything with 1 can of brake cleaner. And the brake cleaner at Harbor Freight's like $7. So $3.50 a control panel to strip it down to bare, or get most of the adhesive off. Now I'm gonna have to get a wire wheel in here on this edge here and back in here because that wheel I'm using won't fit in there. But I do have something that should get in there to clean that out. We'll do that after we weld. Now, these holes, we're just gonna weld in with the wire itself, and I'm probably just gonna weld this one in with the wire itself as well, because by the time I cut a little tiny patch for that hole, I could probably already have it welded in. Now, this thing is dented in. Whoever, I don't know what they did with the joystick, but it's dented in pretty good. So we're gonna see if we can hammer it down a little bit. That flattened it out pretty damn good. So what I think happened is they drilled a round hole and then they used a carriage bolt, which had a square end, and rather than just drilling the hole a little bigger, they just hammered the carriage bolt through the metal, which in turn dented the metal. So we need to clamp this to the piece of wood here. I almost wonder if I should I have some clamps, but I think I'm just gonna screw this in through here and here and draw it down. So let me grab a couple screws. I'm not gonna use these clamps. And then we're gonna weld in these holes, grind it, do a little body work, and we'll probably just paint this when we paint the cabinet. I'll probably paint it before because I'm just gonna use silver spray paint. I didn't have any small washers that wouldn't go through this hole, so I'm gonna use a nut, but it'll work. Okay, get our ground wire hooked up. We're gonna get this bad boy welded up. Okay, I'm gonna let that cool for a little bit. We'll flip it over and see if we need to do some welding on the front side. But as you can tell, it's almost completely hidden. Now, when I was welding, if you noticed, I had the wire hanging out real far past the gun. I did that on purpose so that it would lay over the hole and kind of fill it in a little bit easier. I'm gonna let this cool. I don't want to unscrew it until it's cooled off. It's getting there pretty quick. All right, let's unscrew this and see. I need a new end for my airline. Let's see what the other side looks like. This still has a little bit of a warp to it, but I mean, that's not from me. That's just from when they beat the shit out of it to get the carriage bolts to go through. Luckily, it's not too bad, really. Actually, I might have just gotten it a little bit better. Okay, so here's our disaster on the front side. So we're going to screw this back down, grind it, and touch this up. And then at that point, we got just a little bit of body work, and this will be ready for paint. Yeah, actually hitting that with a hammer actually flattened it out pretty damn good. Okay, now I want to get that little bit of rust off of there. I'm going to use the Cheek Poker 2000. If anybody's ever used a wire wheel, you know what I'm talking about. When you're wire wheeling and the wire wheel goes into the side of your face, feels great. So, lightly clamp this in. Oh boy. Maybe. Okay, just got to mix up a little bit of Bondo, very light coat on each side, and this control panel is fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up a little Bondo. Okay, coin doors all back together. Looks really nice. Got the coin mechs back in there. I still got to put the wires on there, but that's not a big deal. So that is done. Now I'm going to play musical cabinets once again. Put these two in the spray booth, take that one out of the spray booth so that I can sand that one, and then take the one I sanded, put it back in the spray booth, and take these ones back out of the spray booth. It's a fun game. I play it, I don't know, 5-6 times a week. They wouldn't be here if I could just get the parts, but hey, what do you know? What do I know? So, all right, I'm gonna get these cabinets moved around, get that one out, and then I need to sand this down. This should be dry pretty soon. It's already drying up. And then I want to spray a little spray can primer on that, let it dry for a little bit while I'm sanding the cabinet down. I'm gonna put a light coat of this 1K Spray Max filler on here just to kind of fill in the Bondo areas. As you can see, that stuff has barely any overspray. It's still 90 degrees in here, so that'll dry pretty fast. And then we can paint it silver. Okay, now I'm gonna sand this down really fast with 180 and then 400 grit. I'm doing the 180 real quick just to knock down. I put a little bit more filler. I saw some more spots. I know I'm being a little bit over picky, but whatever. But I'm gonna hit it really fast with 180, just enough to kind of knock down the orange peel and stuff like that. And then I'll switch to 400 to really smooth out everything. Okay, now I'm just sanding this down real lightly with some 400 just to smooth it out a little bit. If you guys are wondering why I'm spending so much time on the cabinet and trying to make it look really good, is because the cabinet needed it. The cabinet was in pretty rough shape, okay? Didn't look like it, but it was. A lot of flaking and peeling around the edges. So I gave it extra time to preserve it. Nothing more than that. It's not like it's a super desirable game or anything like that, but I wanted to make sure that I sealed up that particle board. And also, if you noticed, I was able to use the DA sander on the back edge and stuff and not worry about blowing the sides out. That's because I primered the edges of the cabinet twice, and I really sealed in that particle board edges so they wouldn't flake anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this down, then I'm going to sand down, and then I'm going to blow off the cabinet, blow the shop out, and then get those two cabinets out of the spray booth. Then I'm going to spray this with a spray can, and then I'm going to move in this cabinet, Space Firebird cabinet, and we are going to put 2 coats of satin black over it, and then this cabinet will be done. The There's a couple little areas that I'm going to spray some of this primer on, but I'm not going to sand it after I spray it. Just to around the monitor area, because I broke through to the particle board in certain spots, and I just don't want the paint to look a little funky around those areas. The sides and the top of the front are getting covered in vinyl anyway, so you're never going to see that. But you can see this primer dries really fast. It is a bit expensive, but I don't usually use it for arcade games. But in this instance, I just wanted to get this control panel done today. I mean, we got a lot of stuff done for this game already, and we're only on part 5. I want to vinyl wrap it this weekend because I'm really anxious to see what it looks like. And I know the color's not perfect, but I don't really care. I mean, I think it'll be close enough. I mean, who the hell is going to even know? So I am going to get everything cleaned off now, and we are going to get this thing painted, and that's going to be the end of part 5 of the Space Firebird. Next time you see it, it's going to be in the basement after today. It's snowing again outside because that's just how this winter is going to go. It's going to snow every day. Every day I have to plow. This is what I'm going to use, the high heat Krylon Max. A couple of light coats of this. It dries extremely fast. Dries in 10 minutes. So we're going to put this on both sides, let it set for 15 minutes. I can unhang it, put it in the shop, and then we can get the cabinet painted. Okay, you can see how nice this looks. You would never know that this was repaired unless you ground it down and saw the Bondo. I like painting them silver when they're supposed to be originally bare metal because it just kind of makes it look like it's original. Okay, I'm just going to hit these couple areas that are just bare wood very lightly. I already wiped the cabinet off with the window cleaner, the spray away window cleaner. By putting this on, this is going to make the black paint more uniform. Okay, I'm going to get this mixed up. We're using the Hot Rod single stage acrylic urethane paint from Summit Racing. This is matte black. It's 4 parts paint, 1 part hardener, and 10% reducer just to make it a little bit thinner. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my first batch. We're going to get our first coat on. I used the spray away window cleaner and wiped everything down off camera. Okay, it's drying. 2 coats are on. It's gonna look, I'll show you, it'll look a little striped until it dries all the way. But it turned out really, really nice. Control panel's done, coin door's done, cabinet is now done. I'm gonna warm it up real good so that later tonight I can get it in the house. And this weekend we can put the wood grain vinyl on it, put the coin door back on it, and start putting it back together. I also have to put the other Tato cabinet together in my basement. Have not had time to do that yet. But let's go take a look at it. Like I said, keep in mind it'll be a little striped looking until it dries all the way. But it's real smooth. The sides really don't even matter because they're getting covered in vinyl. But everything turned out really, really nice. All my edges are nice and sharp now. They're not all jagged like they were. But this gets covered, and the whole sides get covered with vinyl. So, I mean, really not much showing. Even this isn't perfect, but it's not bad. Sticker was a little beat up, but at least it's still on there. You can see how it's more striped at the bottom still, and the top is drying quicker because the heat obviously is warmer the higher up it goes in the air. Alright guys, that's going to end part 5. I don't know if I'm going to Jason's today or tomorrow. I still have to paint the underside of a hood today for this truck. I gotta go pick up a bracket that I lost at the junkyard today. That's ready for me. I had to do a little bit other running around, but I might run out there this evening, get all the measurements for Space Duel so that I can get that thing built and put together so that we can move forward on getting that into the basement. The more I thought about it on the Space Duel, even somebody had commented, which it's true. I mean, I think what I'm gonna do is tape off the black line right here, and then we're going to fix all this area, and then we're going to kind of blow in the color with probably, honestly, it's such a little bit, I might just use a spray can. I might just see if I can find maybe a little bit of an off-white. I don't know if this was ever a pure white or if it was a hair off-white, but, and then I don't know how crazy, I'll probably touch up the artwork. You know, we'll touch up what we can with it. Not going to get crazy. It's in really good shape, and the colors are really, really nice. So I'm just mainly concerned about fixing this. Obviously, the other one of these is missing this front edge. We got a busted out corner down there, but we will fix this thing. This thing's going to look badass when it's done. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate all the comments. Hopefully you guys keep sending comments. Please keep hitting the thumbs up. Keep getting new subscribers every day, so it's definitely helping. Like I said, any questions or comments, feel free to ask. I respond to every single one that I can. Once in a great while I miss one, but if I do, don't get offended. I'm trying my best to read them all. Yeah, that's pretty much going to end that. It might be another video coming out tonight. Might talk Jason into doing a quick one with me, taking that TV apart, looking at the inside of it. Maybe he can say hi to everybody. I know he's not really doing videos on YouTube anymore. He'll do some on Facebook here and there, but we'll see if I can't con him into doing one. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Once again, any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Also, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It costs nothing. Just lets you know when the new video comes out. It'll little ding on your phone. You'll know that you got another video to watch. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.